Welcome to the Climate Trends podcast. We're covering the critical climate talks at COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan. And the first couple of days have raised some hopes for breakthroughs on some crucial issues around funding a global clean transition. Day one of the COP29, though, was filled with some drama. There were tensions as delegates argued over the agenda, which led to a long day because of the delays. Envoys from nearly 200 countries spent the best part of a day in an agenda fight over the extent to which UN climate talks should focus on accelerating fossil fuel cuts. And this on a day when the WMO had issued a warning that 2024 would be the hottest year on record. The delay started with disagreements on the UAE-led finance dialogue under the global stocktake. Countries argued if the GST should focus only on finance or cover broader issues. After intense talks, a compromise was reached. A footnote clarified that the discussions would not extend beyond finance for now, and this allowed the conference to move forward. But despite the delays, day one of the COP ended with a major breakthrough that could change global carbon markets. Countries approved new standards for international carbon markets under Article 6.4. This opens the door for trading carbon credits to meet climate goals. There was, however, some criticism that the process followed to reach this decision wasn't transparent, and guidelines for carbon removals were approved quickly and without public input. Some critics called it a risky move and warned that it would benefit polluters and undermine true climate action. But this is still a win for the COP presidency, as progress on the plans for a global carbon trade have been in a limbo for many years. Climate finance remains a central issue in this COP. UN climate chief Simon Stiell called on wealthy nations to view climate funding as a necessity, not an act of charity. A new collective finance target is needed to replace the expiring $100 billion annual commitment. Developing countries are demanding support ranging from $1 trillion to $5 trillion to meet their current needs. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's election win cast a long shadow over the talks. In response, US climate envoy John Podesta reassured everyone that the US remained committed to climate action. COP29 President Mukhtar Babayev also laid out priorities, calling for a fair and ambitious new climate finance target. But the divide over finance is stark. India wants developed countries to provide at least $1 trillion every year. Brazil, speaking for South America, pegged the need at nearly $6 trillion by 2030. The Arab group has proposed $1.1 trillion in transfers. The G77, a coalition of developing nations, has made it clear that a robust new collective quantified goal on climate finance is non-negotiable. Their demands emphasize that the new NCQG must be predictable, equitable, and reflect the differentiated responsibilities established by the Paris Agreement. In simple terms, they want financial commitments that match the scale of the climate crisis they're facing. Moving on now to day two. The UK surprised everyone with their new climate pledge. At COP29, Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced an ambitious target to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 81% from 1990 levels by 2035. But questions remain. Can the UK back this up with real policies and effective action? Or is this another high promise without the groundwork to achieve it? Time will tell. Finally, a moment of controversy. Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev didn't mince words. At COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan's president criticized Western nations for their hypocrisy regarding fossil fuel use. He argued that while countries advocate for reduced fossil fuel consumption globally, they continue to rely heavily on such resources domestically. Aliyev emphasized that Azerbaijan's oil and gas are gifts from God and defended the nation's right to utilize them. His remarks hit a nerve and highlighted the ongoing tensions over climate finance and accountability at COP29. And with that, you're all caught up on the first 2 days of these complex climate talks where finance, equity, and global cooperation hang in balance. Stay with us for more updates as the COP29 unfolds.